right, here we are in a beautiful Santa Ana day, early morning, looking at a really sweet, I would call it a work of art, 1941 Hollywood Graham. Really a nicely done show car style car, professionally built, managed by Art Chrisman. The chassis on it was some assistance by SoCal Speed Shop, but other than that, it was an Art built car, Chrisman built car. We're going to walk up and we're going to tell you what we know as we walk around here and what we see. But all the way through, all the way up to the dash and the gauges as we get up front here, we're going to share that with you. I have my cheat sheet in my hand here like I usually do, so you'll hear me rustling that around. Basically, the front end on it has been extended about 3 inches or so. Typically, it'd be real tight when you open up the suicide doors here in the front. He's got it extended back just a little bit. The hood itself has been sectioned about 1.5 inches to give it just a little bit and a lot cleaner look. They've eliminated the cowl vents in the front here, which gives it also a smooth look, and the stainless trim off the front. Door handles and trim. The rear fenders back there have been extended down and the rear's been swooped up. Budnick wheels, these are with custom Graham center caps on it, the G on the center cap. We'll actually have this up on the lift for you. The frame is just incredible the way they did the unibody on this car. The front end here is much, you know, they've changed the hood and the sectioned the hood so it gives it a better look. But the headlights, you'll notice that it doesn't have the headlights that a Graham would typically have. What he's done is he's added Porsche electric headlights that are hidden much like the earlier Accord would have been. So you can see them built into the body here. The fit of this car and the paint on this car is just beautiful. We get into the dash and stuff, you'll see a lot more. The front bumper's custom. It's a smooth front bumper that actually, you know, cantilevers with the body. You can see it had custom built brackets here that are shaped. Graham emblem on the front here. Underneath the hood is a Chevy 350 with a Whipple supercharger on it, a 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission, has air conditioning. You'll see it has marker lights are hidden here behind the grill, the lower grills. Car's been done about 15 years, but it's just beautiful. Been maintained only about 4,000 miles, but it's definitely the kind of car you can drive. Kind of leave you speechless a little bit as you look at some of this stuff. Hollywood Supercharged here on the side of the hood, which is just sweet. Notice how the peak on the hood carries up on these cars up over in here. Step back and let you take a look at the wheel there. Forward doors are suicide, the rears are normal. You'll see the fit and finish of this car is just unbelievable. Actually, if you hang on to the end of the video, the woodwork, all the interior was done by Tom Sewell, and the interior woodwork, another gentleman. I have that over there. I'm going to go cover that in just a minute, but hang on, we'll cover that for you. We'll actually cover the book, the interior book by Tom Sewell. Legendary upholsterer. Still gets a few in here and there. The dash, we're going to cover that for you when we get over to the driver's side. It's just beautiful. It's all custom done, custom gauges. These are BMW seats, lift up headrest, and this is all high-end leather, custom fitted stuff. Doors shut nice, all the gaps are beautiful. You can see by the reflections, you can see me in the fender there, that the body work is just beautiful in this car. Really nothing you can pick this car about. On the back end here, besides extending the fenders down a bit here, you might find just a little, it's got 4,000 miles on it, a little tiny chip here there, but in other words, it's not 100% perfect, but it is extremely nice, and if you want to pick it, you can just go away. The rear fenders have been extended a little bit, but the back end has kind of been swooped up, so it gives it a little bit more room. They typically would have been a little squared off here in the back. He's also done a little work here on the rear belt line to bring this all together flowing wise. I like the body color garnish moldings on it. It's very nice. Notice how the trim, I didn't mention it on the front, see how the trim matches the kind of hood sides. Again, these are BMW style seats, but I'm assuming these seats are all custom made in the back seat. All power windows on it. Air conditioning. Let me do that again. I probably shut it too hard. That's just sweet. Finger. Hold the camera in one hand and walk around and talk in the other, so I'm one-handed operation. The trunk is power. The headlights are power windows. Then you get to the back here. These are, let's see here. I think these are Studebaker taillights. 39 Studebaker taillights in the back. The bumper's same thing as the front. He's molded it to fit the body lines of the car. And then these custom mounts, and they're all kind of boxed. Very nice. Got a cool little switch panel we'll show you in just a second. Gotta love the split window on the back side of this. Making sure I'm not missing anything. The deck is power, so it's missing the deck lid handle, so to speak. Fuel door's been relocated up here. It's one of those pop-ups. I'm not going to touch it and put my fingerprint on it, but it's there. Wow. A lot of money went into this car. I think the owner told me he had probably approaching $400,000 in the build. But let's just call it a lot of money, because rarely are all receipts kept together. The level of craftsmanship by Christmas Shop is very nice on this car. In fact, that's where we took it out of just now. Get in here, we'll show you the headliner. Looks like they even used the BMW tracks in the seats. Nice. He built it to drive it. There's a little bit of chrome pitting on the leading edge of both mirrors, but that's because they're just the reproduction ones. Like I said, if you want to pick this one, really not even, it's just a beautiful work of art. Car you drive. Look at the woodwork. Those are all power window switches right there. Button type. John is very proud of this car, and he should be. It's kind of been a labor of love. Nardi steering wheel. We're going to show you the switch panel here. We're going to spend some time on the gauges here. You'll see that it's got the vintage air, heat. All the switches and controls here are hidden behind this panel. The other panel opens up. The audio system pulls down here, and the nav screen pulls down here. He says it's currently not working at the time, but he'll have it checked out and make sure that she's functional. It's got this custom turn metal dash, but it's got these cutouts for the shift indicator, and it's actually got lighting by it. I don't know if you can see that, but look at these gauges. They're just beautiful in the woodwork here. These gauges were custom made by Momi, and they're just, you can see that it says Chrisman Cars on the gauges. Custom clock. This clock he's really proud of. It's much like a watch. He had a watch when he had these gauges made. He just loved the face of a watch, so he had it duplicated. Keeps great time. It has all GPS stuff, full gauges, temp, but these are all hand and you'll see the little turn indicator here too. Maybe I can get it over here. You see the little turn indicator here too, where it's a little cutout, so there's a light behind there. Anyway, a lot of tedious time. There's a little cutout here for the high beam, a little tiny hole. Dome lights on like it's supposed to be. We're gonna get out, we're gonna fire it up here. Let me cover the gauges with you. Again, 350 Chevy, Whipple Supercharged 700R4 automatic overdrive. I think it's more of a function thing where he just doesn't know how to turn it on, and I'm not gonna mess with it. Rarely do I mess with audio systems. Miles on it are 5,461 at the current time of reading. It's got a vacuum gauge. It has a boost gauge over there. RPM gauge is right here, and it's working. It's got a oil gauge right there showing almost 50 pounds of oil pressure. It's got a temp gauge right there, a 190. It's running Route 195. And like I said, the clock is working. Volt gauge, 13 volts, fuel quarter tank. We'll get out, we'll let you hear it run. Definitely invite you to Spud's Garage. If you're looking for a cool one-of-a-kind car, it really is a work of art. Go to spudsgarage.com. Appreciate you listening to me, and make sure you hang on to the end of the video, because we're going to cover a lot more. We actually put this car up on the lift too. Have a great day. Get in. Alright, underneath the hood here, you never would expect what's hiding underneath the hood here. Whipple Supercharged high performance Chevy 350 V8. The entire build on this is only about 4,000 miles. If you've watched through the video, I probably covered that in the auto just a little bit earlier. Anyway, it has power steering on it. This is an AC compressor here. By the way, these are Porsche pop-up headlights. I know I mentioned that earlier, but it kind of gives you a feel when you're up front here. Nice powder-coated Whipple. It's got long tube headers on it with chambered mufflers. We actually got this up on the lift shortly after here, if you hang on. Tubular structure comes through here on the unibody. AC lines here. 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission. Chrisman did a really nice job on building this car, putting it together. Final build. It's like a custom engineered radiator for it. Air intakes on the back here, old school style. See the G on the air filter for the Hollywood Graham Hollywood Supercharged. Again, the tubular structure that leads up to the firewall, and it reinforces the unibody on it. Power steering right here, serpentine belt drive. I know I already mentioned that. Has dual electric cooling fans. Anyway, we're thinking you get the idea. Definitely hang on to the end of the video. We're going to cover the undercarriage here pretty quick like. There you go. Okay, put him back down. Alright, let's take a look at the trunk here. When we have it open, we'll power it up for you and show the up and down here next in just a minute. It is an electric trunk. Nice little Hollywood Graham logo there on the back. Matches the interior. Sony CD in the back. DVD. Batteries back here in the back, and it's all leather trimmed by Sewell also. Deck lid's upholstered with a courtesy light there. Anyway, there you go. Hang on to the end of the video. Okay, I've got things laid out in the back of the Spud truck here. I want to cover a few things. When we go to the undercarriage, you'll find that you'll see a connector underneath, but this has got a jump point where you can either do battery connection or a jump to the car. So it connects right into it, so it's got a connection point. There's a few modification sheet here, but here's a really neat little book. It is a trim by Tom Sewell, wood trim by Bruce Crawford, Graham Hollywood, Tom Sewell's car here. Beautiful leather job on the inside of this car, but everything's hand sculpted. A lot of time was spent on the interior of this car, building custom aluminum panels and then covering them with fiberglass and the woodwork. You can see the trim woodwork here. It's multi-layered. Anyway, we think you get the idea. This is included with the car. Go to spudsgarage.com. Hang on to the end of the video. Have a great day. Alright, as promised, we got it up on the lift here. We want to share the undercarriage with you. Chassis on this is really nice. It follows along the original unibody style of it. The chassis on it was built by SoCal Speed Shop, and it was structured around the unibody car. Car's about 4,000 miles on it. There's a little mark back here on the rear bumper. Car sits pretty low. Has a Ford 9-inch rear differential in it here with parallel leaf springs. You see that right there? But the structure of this frame is really neat. The floor pans are finished like in a lizard skin kind of material. But you'll see where they put the structure up here for the leaf springs are right here, again about 4,000 miles on the chassis, but this is an actual plate steel that runs along the structure of the outside of the car here, and then the exterior sheet metal Goes up out. We'll go outside and I'll show you there. Anyway, I've spent a little bit of time underneath here, taking a quick peek, and we've taken photos for the website. Nice little crossover on the exhaust here. Looks like it's got pre-mufflers or resonators in it here, and then just forward of the mufflers. The chassis, again, like I said, is structure. You'll see the tubular cross member that goes across here, removable center section here so you can get the tranny out if you need to. So it was built to come apart. Bolted together here, bolted to the exterior, so that whole lower section of the cross member will actually come out of the car. Trans cooler right here. There's some, looks like a solenoid up in there, but it's a little bit of a power box. Looks like the battery box. The cables come through, and then here's a jump point right here. Pardon my light going on and off there. Again, this is probably about a 3/16 1/4-inch steel plate that runs along the rocker here. That's part of the chassis. Up front it has Mustang 2 style suspension. Again, tubular supports coming over to the outer unibody construction on it. Just early Mustang 2 front donor car is what it looks like here. Standard stamped steel Mustang 2 style upper and lower control arms, disc brakes in the front. It's been all rhino coated up into here. Again, this is all steel. It's like I said, it's low, so there's a few little scuff parts on the front here. You really can't see it from the top at all, even on the back. It's just so low. The gentleman's driveway has a dip in it. Kind of give you a feel there. Bumpers are tucked up nice here. You can see how the outer structure rocker wraps up to the frame structure that runs along there. Kind enough to have a shop here as they push a car off to get it on the lift for me. When I can get a lift, I like to get a lift. Sweet car, really is. Okay, the rear tire size is a 225/60 or 225/60R16 in the rear. And the front tire size is a 215/60R15. Anyway, we think you get the idea. Go to spudsgarage.com. Thanks for watching the video.